Many messages. Let's move on because of our time to the next one. All right, before we take our next topic, which is the challenges of living with extended families, let's go have a laugh. This old couple, when I say old, I mean really old couple, you know, they decided to renew their marriage vows. And this is what happened. I'm not the old. All right, that video made me laugh, you know, when I saw it. They're so old, the man didn't even know which one is the ring finger anymore. Anyways, let's move it along. Since everyone comes from a family, marriage brings together not only the husband and the wife, but also brothers, sisters, in-laws, and other extended family members, especially if you are an African. Now, this new relationship sometimes can bring joy and a rich sense of belonging, you know, to the newly married couple. But sometimes this kind of relationship can also bring a lot of chaos, and I know we all know what I'm talking about. So when you find yourself in a situation where, you know, perchance you need to live with other members of maybe your own family or your husband's family, how do you really cope with such a thing? Now, not too long ago, we've seen some videos trend on social media, you know, where the wife had a problem with the mother-in-law and then the husband is not helping in any way, you know, and we've also seen some where, you know, you just can't imagine what is even going on. It's like a chaos and all of that. So that's why we're here today to talk about how we can deal with these challenges, you know, that comes when the couple has to live with extended family members.
Okay, there's some things that we are doing wrongly or ignorantly. When we say marriage, it's a union between two independent, matured fellows. And the law that established marriage says that a man shall leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. So there's a need for them to be independent, to be together so that they understand themselves and grow. But living with other extended family will cause a lot of issues.
So you're saying living with family members is even an error,
it's an error
in the first place. Okay.
It's an error. You don't, there will be a lot of intruder into your union, so many things. Interference here and there. So we don't advise that, we don't counsel that. Even though you have just one room to live, even though you have a family mansion, come together in your own one room, live together in love and build together. You can, of course, go around to greet yourselves, visit, but living together, there'll be problem. I want to talk about sharing kitchen. How do you cook the meals? Before you know it, the mother or the seniors, the sister-in-laws could just tell the wife to sleep. Be cooking this, do all of this, and the guy will not be able to defend most times. So the best thing is that you get married, just move together with your spouse, live separately from your family.
All right, Pastor Dolly.
Well, I think actually, just like you said, that's why we talk about the nucleus family, the extended family. By the time nephews, uncles, sisters, brothers comes in, they're actually part of the extended family. The real family should be the man, the wife. And when children start coming in, the children. But back here in Africa, we see that people believe that if my brother marry, she's marrying us. She's marrying the family. So we have to be involved in whatever happens in that home. And that is, I want to tell you that majority of the problems that leads to divorce always come from extended family. Their intrusion in the family when they want their say to be what is accepted what holds in other people's home. That is usually the case, you know. Like, I want to give an example with myself. When my husband and I were living abroad, we both agreed he would do the laundry and the cleaning of the house. And because I love a clean house anyway, I clean house almost every day. But he does maybe once a week, twice a week. But when we came back here, I didn't use my number 6. Honestly, I didn't use my number 6. We agreed on that. I do the cooking and all that. One day, the younger brother came to the house and met my husband cleaning the floor. And that became an unending problem in the home. He went back to the village, told his parents, my brother is in slavery. That woman, can you believe that she makes my brother to clean the floor? It was that bad. So I think this is the society we found ourselves. We have to use wisdom. Sometimes there are things the man could do, but when the extended family are around, because we can't stop them from visiting us. We can't stop them, because visiting for one day alone, they can use it to do serious damage to the home. But I always advise, if you can, it is best to help them from a distance. I believe in helping the family, but help them from a distance, because when you bring them home, they will dictate. And to the family members, the Bible says the man will leave the wife, will leave his family, cleave to the wife. That's how it ought to be. They both become one flesh. Leave them, we should leave them to live their lives the way they want to live their lives. They are comfortable with it, it's okay with them. It is when extended family comes in, they see that what the man is doing for the wife, it shouldn't be. It's not a man's responsibility to do that. But the man has not complained. So why should we complain for the man?
Okay. Charles.
Yeah, it's back to upbringing. And I keep saying this, you see, the family is the fulcrum of society. Whatever, like what Pastor Dolly has mentioned, the reason why it's an issue is because of the backdrop of where they are coming from. And like setting in Africa has stereotyped a lot of things, even to the issue of doing chores. I remember once, I think I was about 6 or 7, my mom, God rest her soul, she asked me a question. She said, what if when you get married and I'm in the house with you, and then you come back home one day and your wife has beaten me up? What would you do? Now, as a 6 or 7-year-old, I was like, what? I'm going to kill her? And my mom just smiled and said, listen to me. When you get married, the love that you have for me should be transferred to your wife first.
That's a wise
That's the kind of family that I grew up in. The kind of family where I understand that even before the children, the allegiance of a man is to his wife.
Of course.
And right now, I keep saying this as a joke, and people just laugh each time I say it. My brother's wives, I love them more than my brothers. And I have a closer relationship with my brother's wives than my brothers. Now, you see, it's not about trying to be a nice or politically correct human being. But I tell people this. The atmosphere you create in the family is what the next generation will grow up in. And then you're looking at issues from the past that you want to nip in the bud. You don't want to continue disunity, backbiting, problems. And then you're perpetuating the same things that your forebears did and expect a different, return. That's not the point. So like the pastor said, marriage is between both parties. Now, there's, like Pastor Dolly also mentioned, it's practically impossible to divorce yourself from extended family. Entirely. But the point is this, and this onus rests on the man.
Yes.
You have to create an atmosphere where every member of the family understands that, you see, my wife, that's a line you don't cross. The woman is not really in the position to do that for herself.
Exactly.
Although some strong women will exert, like I have a cousin whose wife she's a very strong personality. So before you're told, you don't cross her. But it makes it easier and it makes it seamless into the family dynamic when a man can take certain steps and say things and act in a way that makes the extended family understand that my wife is priority. And that begins on how the man treats his wife. In front of people, behind people. Do you complain about your wife? Do you say unsavory things about her? When she makes mistakes, do you go out? I remember the last heated argument. My eldest brother and I, we drove from almost 40 minutes from Pearland to Houston to Sugarland, and I was screaming in the car. We had that altercation for 40 minutes. Why? Because of this issue of family. Your wife is priority. Even before the children, even before me, even before anyone. I know you love us dearly, but your wife is
I'm happy you brought that to the fore, because a lot of men just believe their family comes first. No. You know, because the woman is the one coming first.
Well, exactly, it's the family. That woman gives you your children,
exactly.
She gives you your future.
To this is because most men have not understood what it means to get married, or what it means to leave your family. Now, leaving your family, like the other discussants have said, it does not mean you're abandoning them. It's a proof that you have grown to a stage that you're raising up a new generation out of the one you came from. And that means that there are a lot of things you need to drop to take up this one. That also means that you have to truly be the head. And like you said, staying with the extended family is not really much of a bad idea if there's an agreement and where the man stands for the woman all the time. Because it is the man that decides, like he said, that was actually what I was going to say, that's what I'm saying. If the man says, hey, you must say good morning to my wife if you must stay here, that's final. You must wash your plates after eating, whether tradition or no. In this house, tradition does not hold. That's the man's instruction. So if you really want to stay with them, reside with them,
you abide by the
rules. There are rules.
So you find out that you can even stay with your mother, even when your mom comes. I know she didn't greet me well. I said, Mommy, she greeted you. You don't want
as long as we all have that understanding. But we can say this, but we do know that the reality of it can be very difficult for a lot of people.
The man hasn't taken a stand.
Because probably the family is still supporting the man financially, so he doesn't have a say.
Or it's just a mental prison.
Or he's just not strong enough.
Another thing is that some families see the man as a point of investment, and the time is now just working. I need to now recruit back. So, but really, it's not so.
So now it's because of this woman now that he doesn't know me.
So
mother-in-law.
If you send me to school,
I'm calling you out.
You are a future mother-in-law.
Not the right thing to do.
Let's not just write a narrative that is negative, right? Let's not write that narrative and say mothers-in-law or what. It's just an individual thing. It's a family thing, and somehow the dynamic just makes it such that for things like this to hold water, for you need to craft a new tradition for
and the onus is on the man.
It's on the man.
It's on the man. Yes, I understand what you said is on the man, but I want us to also look at it this way. There are some men that have decided, I'm going to stand my ground. This is what I want in my home. But the other side, the extended family, they don't take it well.
That's what I'm saying.
They still believe it is the woman that
has controlled the man to that point. Or saying that.
You understand?
That's true.
There's still problem. There's still problem.
Yes.
So my own
but once the couple is together, there's nothing they can't surmount.
But this is Africa. This is Nigeria.
It happens. Let me tell you.
Where prayer, when what you're doing is right.
Yeah, but
you're going to pray, you're going to beg God. But for you to think that because you're praying, you're not going to face crisis. No, crisis will come.
Can we just be realistic and leave this issue of prayer out? This is human relations.
Any extent.
Prayer is not manipulation. You can't manipulate people. The truth is,
battles we don't fight physically. There are battles we fight.
I think what Pastor is trying to say, there will be pressures from extended family.
No, you abandon them.
No.
There will be.
You don't.
There definitely will be.
You take your stand. No. Let's take this way.
I want to hear him. I want to hear him. I want to hear him.
There will be pressure from extended family, madam. You know, you can't just be living your life of doing well, and there won't be perhaps maybe some like a need from your uncles, your nephews, your nieces. They will call out. But like you said, you're taking your stand and you're like, I'm trying to assist you, but I can assist you, yes. This is what I can do. I can't assist you, I'm sorry, I can't afford to assist you. So if, like you just said, I understand what you're saying now, if there's anything that you want to now do afterwards, Of course, as long as you have a godly mind,
I think
defend you. But you must also.
I think there's a veering off. No, I don't think this issue has to do with helping extended family or not.
No, it's from them.
I think it has to. No, one minute. I think it has to do. No, I know wealthy families, like bourgeois families, where the matriarch of the home is like a principality in the, you know, the families of her sons. So they don't need anything from this. You know, but it's all about, you know, like maybe parents or extended family or an auntie trying to control. But you see, this is the point. And people, and this is a weakness with human beings, we all want the right things. We all want the good. But a lot of us are not willing to pay the price or stand our ground long enough to get the results that we want. So when you work together, I believe in, I agree with you. Once you work together, there may be friction, but at the end of the day, when people know this is an unshifting ground, they will adjust.
They will adjust.
Yeah.
Okay, I still think the problem is with the men. You know, if the man can take the right stand, and it's not only about you taking that stand, it's about you knowing how to say what you have to say. When you have to. Do you understand what I mean? Because sometimes they want to say it, but then it backfires on the woman again, the way they have said it. I know what I'm talking about. You know, you can't just say, mommy, you know that now I have a wife. Already you have put that woman. You know what I'm saying? You have put the woman, you know, in the middle of the whole thing. Say it as the man that you are. It is what you want as the man who is in the picture. Okay? Thank you, everybody, for that. But really, marriage is between a man and a woman, really. And then all those brothers and sister-in-law. There's always one evil one in every family I know. Back off. Really, just back off. Let them live their lives.
I heard a story about a girl that just got married, and she said the first week of the marriage, her mother-in-law would call, what are you planning to cook? Okay, don't do this. I'm bringing this, make this. That for the first 2 weeks. And you know, initially she'd be, okay, mommy, okay, like, you know, young wife. And it continued the following week, 3 weeks. She will learn. A month into her marriage, she will learn. She had to tell her husband, please, you need to talk to your mom.
You need to talk to her. Yeah. Mothers, please, I know these are your sons. You trained them. You did a lot of sacrifice, blah, 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 all of that. Once they are married, it doesn't mean they don't love you anymore. Yeah. You just have to know when to cut the strings. You let go. Let him be.
I think those strings have to be cut before marriage.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out today. It's been a very exciting show today. Thank you, Imelda Moki.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Patience.
Thank you, Pastor Dolly. And thank you, Pastor Ayo.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, viewers. Thank you for all the messages that flooded my phone since. Thank you. No time to read so many messages.